quick question for you guys, because you guys are both Chicago. You're Chicago, you're East St. Louis. Chicago guys grew up watching this guy.
Absolutely.
What does it mean what was it like watching Scottie Pippen? What did he mean to y'all as your career becoming players and then when you finally got to the league?
Man, for me growing up, I mean, you know, I'm a homegrown kid, so I mean, him, Mike, everybody, they was everything. I told you last year when I got to come up here, it was surreal for me to be sitting here with him, man, growing up, watching him achieve so much and do so much for the city and inspiring all of us. I mean, him along with MJ made me want to put on a jersey and hoop and go emulate him. So he big time legend for us up here.
Yeah, watching WGN, and we used to watch all 82 games, you know, being in the Midwest. And, you know, my game just kind of went from just being just like Scottie's, playing defense, trying to shoot off the backboard, just everything, and just how chopped he was. He looked like a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like you can draw Scottie.
You made us want to get in the weight room, and Mike.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear this.
You guys played together. Now I hear you like live across the street from each other. Is the love like never to be broken here?
Never.
I watch you guys play together.
We brothers, man. It's like the way we came up playing AAU together. It was crazy, and it was a real situation where we got drafted together. So everything was built organically and real, man. And this is something that, to the day we die, man, we bros.
Yeah, I've been knowing Q since I was like 15 years old. He was 2 years older than me, so he always been like a big brother.
Man, it's crazy that y'all knew each other growing up, and then you end up in the NBA on the same team coming out, basically your first NBA experience. Those Clipper teams were really popular, despite y'all didn't go to the playoffs or have deep runs, but some of the most popular teams at that time. Are you surprised by how popular those Clipper teams were?
We were. I mean, I think, you know, when you in it and you're going through it and you're trying to make your way, you're not really seeing everything that's going on. But little by little, as my career went further and further along, you know, more and more young kids, teammates coming into the league telling me, like, dude, we used to be doing the thing that y'all was doing. You know, different guys you meet and you interact with, and then you realize, like, this was like a countrywide situation that was going on. Then we go back and get brought back to the Clippers, and they kind of acknowledge that era is our era. So it's like, for us, it was kind of surprising and overwhelming, but it's all love, man, and we appreciate the love from everybody remembering that.
Yeah, it's truly a blessing. Like, we appreciate for it.
I mean, it's crazy. I remember that TV show Sideline LA Hoops, man. When I was in Phoenix, we cut a clip from that show of Alvin asleep on the plane, because Alvin loved to take naps everywhere. It was one of my favorite shows watching back then. Well, the Clippers right now are currently the 3rd seed in the West, and they've lacked a little bit of consistency. They've different lineups. D-Miles, let me ask you, what should the Clippers look for in the trade deadline to help fix this team?
I think they need one more big. If they can get one more big to just give them a little bit more size, I think they'll be all right. I think everything else is kind of forming itself with Mo Harkins and all them guys kind of stepping up in the assistant role.
You?
For me, I would agree, like maybe a shot blocking athletic type center, but I think the Darren Collison situation would be interesting to see whether he chooses the Lakers or the Clippers, and I think that'll be impactful to either one of those teams. But I mean, it's a lot of rumors out there with teams like Spencer Dinwiddie could be on the move, Derrick Rose could be on the move to either of the LA teams. So I think those are the things that I think may or may not happen.
Scottie, you think they need to add anything?
I really don't. I would really like to see the Clipper team on the court consistently. You know, this load management and all that, like, I don't really get it. I like to see them make a run. I think if they played their players night in and night out, we would see a better Clipper team than what we're seeing now. I think they're kind of winning games on the fly. They're very talented, but they're not playing great basketball. They're not getting on a run like you see with teams like the Lakers, where they can win 10 out of 12 games. They have to keep their personnel on the floor. I think that's the important thing, where they can find some consistency.
All right, moving along, Giannis has been noticing players trying to draw fouls by falling to the ground and flailing in front of him. Here's what Giannis had to say after the game last night. Quote, "It's kind of hard because in the NBA, the way it's built, they want you to flop. It wants you to be weak, kind of, because sometimes I think when you're strong and you're going through contact, they don't call the foul. But when you're flopping and kind of going into the contact and throwing the ball out, they're going to call the foul. But that's not who I am. That's not what I'm going to do." Q, do you agree with Giannis? Does the league want you to flop?
I don't know if I would say they want you to flop, but I would agree with him as far as saying that he's going to be who he is and he's going to go through the contact and continue to attack the rim. But, I mean, I think what you're hearing from him is a little frustration because I think he's starting to see that some guys are flopping and getting a call against him. But I think he's doing the right thing by saying, I'm going to continue to attack the rim and do what he's doing.
He's talking about Marcus Smart, right? Like, why are we pretending?
Right.
Why don't we? He's talking about Marcus Smart. Darius, do you think that's a thing that affects him as far as his game?
I think as a defender, it's a mind game. Sometimes you try to draw a charge. Sometimes you be physical. And I think a lot of teams in the league and defenders in the league is mixing it up with him. They can't just let him continue to just come down and just full court dunk them all the time.
Right. Scottie, is there a difference between flopping, no one touched me and I fell down, and selling the contact? Like, I got hit, but I'm going to extra do it up so the ref sees it.
I think you're seeing a very dominant player in Giannis. Guys are going to try anything on him. Yep. He's very difficult to guard. Guys are going to flop. He reminds me a lot like Shaq. He's bringing nothing but force and power, and if you can't withstand it, he's going to go straight through you. So I understand what he's saying, that, he's not hitting guys that hard and officials are buying it. So he's not changing his game.
To me, the only problem I had with his comment is he made it seem like the league today. And I would say LeBron went through this, Shaq went through it, Wilt went through it. Whenever you're a more physical force than everybody else, they try to foul you hard because if they don't, they know you're going to finish through the contact. But a lot of times refs, for whatever reason, they don't notice.
And, I mean, to be honest, sometimes those type of guys, like you say, the Shaqs, the LeBrons, Giannis, they can be difficult for officials to guard because, like you say, they're relentless in coming through and going through contact. So sometimes it's hard to tell when you that strong and you going through stuff. Did he really get hit that much? Should I have, you know what I'm saying? So they have to watch that over and try and practice and get used to what he's doing too.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.